You all will be waiting very anxiously to know the reward for all the rigorous efforts you have put in today for your first paper of CBSE class 12th, that is English Co. I am Sunil Sharma, SDS Sir, Faculty of English at Resonance Adventures, Kota. Today I am here to put forward the analysis and the answers of 12th CBSE Term 1 English Co. This analysis and this will help you to evaluate your performance and rate yourself. The paper for today, most of the students had different things in the mind. Some were expecting it as a lollipop, some were expecting the paper might be very tedious, very difficult to solve. But overall, today's paper was, you can say, a bit difficult. It was not that difficult. Rather than difficult, the paper was tricky. The questions were framed in such a way that many of the students must have got confused with the options, and this is bound to happen in all the objective type of tests which will be appearing in the next few days. So, today we will be discussing about the paper number, code number SSJ 2 001/2/4. So, this is the paper English Co. This is the paper pattern, this is the analysis. The paper section A comprised of total 18 questions, which had 2 comprehensions, and out of those you have to attempt only 14. Section B, short composition, there were 5 questions and you have to attempt only 4 of them, whereas in the long composition you had 7 and you have to attempt any 6 of them. The section C was the literature based questions, comprising of questions from Flamingo as well as Vistas. In all 30 questions were there and you have to attempt only 26 of them. Now, where the students must have appeared today, one thing they must have analyzed, that solving the MCQs is not that easy, because in spite of maybe knowing the answer, wherever the subjective question is there, it becomes easier for us to analyze because we know the things. But the similar type of answer are put up in 4 different ways, 4 different meanings are there, then it becomes difficult for the students to analyze. So, please, whenever you appear for such things, particularly for the English paper, maybe in term 2, which the students are in a dilemma right now, whether it will be objective or it will be subjective. So, just pray that it is in the dual mode rather than only MCQs. Okay. Rather, we will just proceed very quickly. This was the instructions which are given to you on the question paper. Total 60 questions were there, you have to attempt only 50 of them with equal markings, maximum marks 40 for term 1, and there were no negative markings for any wrong answer. The first passage, the first question from reading comprehension was a passage based question. Comparatively, a very easy passage was given over here. So, you will not waste much time in the passage, most of the students must be having the paper along with them. So, they can go through the passage. Yes, I will just move on very quickly. Let us start with the questions which were there. Moving on to the first question from the reading comprehension, the first passage. The first question was, what according to the author gave him solace during his bad times in his college days. There were 4 options in this, and the correct answer for this is T. T, that is chai, the chai word is used, and C gave him solace. Moving on to the other questions very quickly. Coming on to second number question. Read the following statements. Mr. Deepak named his food joint Om Chinese, and the second option is Chinese food was then popular among people. Now, 4 options were given to you, and the correct option in this is the second statement is the cause of one, that is Chinese food was then popular among people. This is the cause, because Deepak named his food Om Chinese just because of that. Coming on to question number 3. Soon he had installed 10 telephones. in the light of our statement, select the option that lists the correct inference, and 4 options were given to you, and the correct answer is B. He was successful and flourishing in his business. So, many times when these MCQ type of questions are there, you must have noticed that you become confused over here. So, the better way always to solve the MCQs. Maybe you might be able to analyze that these two are incorrect, keep those two incorrect questions aside, then take up the elimination process, and always the elimination process will help you to come up with the correct answer. And please read the question very carefully, because some tricky things might be there or some tricky words might be there in the options given. So, please read everything very carefully whenever you appear for this MCQ type of questions. Moving on to the fourth one. The gesture of changing the name of food joint to Ganga Dhaba speaks of Deepak's what? 4 options are given, and the correct answer over here is C, respect and tribute to OTs. The answer for question number 4 is C. Moving on to the other questions now. Question number 5. The correct answer for this is his family members learn dishes from OTs. Choose the option, and the correct option is C. His family had close association and good rapport with the OTs. Yes, typo error is OTs. Coming on to the next one. As per paragraph 7, select the option that sums up the personality of Deepak Garg, about whom this passage is based upon. So, things were given. He is a struggler, he is very social and friendly, a responsible son, or a person who upholds dignity and esteem in life. And the correct answer for this question is D, for Delhi, a person who upholds dignity and esteem in life and is not materialistic. Moving on to the 7th question from this. Statement is given, OTs that gave us our identity. What does it mean by? 4 options are there, and the correct answer over here, it was the OTs who patronized his canteen business. So, because of this he got the identity. Coming on to the next one. Yes, a nice interesting question which must have confused many of the students. Choose the option that aptly defines Deepak Garg's life story, and some quotations, idioms have been given. Garg's life story from struggling childhood days to becoming a successful man. So, if you have read this chapter, yes, the option was not at all difficult, and the correct answer for this is where there is a will, there is a way. Jahan chaha, wahan raha. This is the answer for this. And make way where the sun shines, a good fire makes a good cook, and despair gives courage to a coward. Those were irrelevant options. Coming on to one more interesting question, the 9th one. Many dishes on our menu today are because some officer came in and decided to teach us. Choose the option that rightly reflects the tone of the speaker, and 4 options were given: ignorance, humility, pride and regret, and the correct answer is humility. Humility means humble. It is not related anything to humiliation or insult. So, humility is related to humble. So, this shows the humbleness of that person. Moving on to the next one, 10th one. Tell us to take care of them. Choose the option that lists the appropriate reason behind the statement, and the correct option for question number 10 is C. Parents trust and respect Deepak Garg's hospitality. And from passage 1, there are 10 questions and you have to attempt only 8 out of 8. And from the second passage which followed later on related to environment, related to air pollution, from 8 questions you had to attempt only 6 of them. So, this was the passage, and we will move on to the questions. So, you have to attempt any 6 of them. Coming on to the first question, select the option that highlights the main idea of the passage. A tedious or maybe a confusing type of a question to educate people about the threat of air pollution, to warn people of the threat of air pollution and educate them, to discuss the status of pollution in Kolkata, and to educate people of exceedance factor method and share the results of today. Most of the students must have eliminated option D, and the confusion mostly must have been in the mind of the students for option number A or option number C, or maybe B also in mind of some of the students, but the answer for this question is to educate people about the threat of air pollution. Coming on to the next one, an interesting one. Select the option that displays the correct cause and effect relationship. 4 sets were given, cause and effect, and you have to come out with the correct one. And straightway this was very easy, straight one for everyone, and the correct option is C, the cause air pollution, and what is the effect? Spread of the respiratory diseases. Moving on to the 13th question. Air pollution kills 4.6 million people every year in India, and the second statement is air pollution is causing health hazards to more people than pollution. 4 options were given, 1 is true and 2 is false. 1 is false and 2 is true. 1 is true and is responsible for 2, or both first and second are false. Many of those students must have got confused if you have not read this question carefully, because in the passage it has been written that air pollution kills 4.6 million people every year across the globe. It is not mentioned, and in India the question states across the globe. So, statement number first is incorrect. The statement number second, that is air pollution causing health hazards to more people than water pollution, yes, this statement is correct. So, the correct answer for question number 13 is B and no other option. So, the correct answer for question number 13 is B, because we are talking about people in India and not about people across the globe. Coming on to the question number 14. The author's opinion on the development of mega cities is, again, urbanization leads to deterioration of air quality. So, 14, the correct answer is B for Bhopal. The 15th one, select the option that the author's recommendation to the people, and the correct option for this, different sets are given. He wants people to be aware that air pollution is a major threat. He urges people not to live in mega cities. He advises people to follow pollution averting activities seriously, and he wants people to reduce vehicular emissions. And in this, the students have to find out that which set, whether second and third, or whether first and third, or first and second, or third and fourth are correct from them. And if you read the options very carefully, you will come to know what does the author want, what is the recommendation. He wants people to be aware that air pollution is a major threat, yes or no? Yes. And he advises people to follow pollution averting activities seriously. So, the correct option is a set of statement 1 and 3, and hence the answer should be C for question number 50. Moving on, select the option that displays the true statement as per the figure. It was a straightforward question, no difficulties must have been there in the mind of any of the students, and pollution caused by transport is much more than the pollution caused by industries. Answer option number B is the correct answer for question number 16. And one question again was there for the visually impaired students, and answer is the same. Question number 17, 4 statements were given, again you have to find which of them is true and which of them is false. So, air quality in Kolkata is less than critical. The second, 12 locations were selected for measuring ambient air quality, and the third statement is most of the mega cities are suffering from the pollution problem of proper air quality. And for 17, the correct option is D. Statement number first and second are false and statement number 3 is true. So, the correct answer is option number D. And moving on to the last question from the reading section. Accumulation of waste aggravates the problem. What is aggravate? Increase. Aggravate means to increase, and different options were given. Select the option that best describes the problem with reference to the above statement, and for 18 the correct answer is C. More developments lead to more waste. A few students had doubts whether it is talking about option number D, but lack of sustainable and effective waste management. Students were confused with this one, but if you read it, you have read the passage carefully, then the correct option is C. So, from these 18 questions of reading comprehension, you have to attempt only 14 of them. Now, move on to the writing section. Section B, 5 questions were given and you have to attempt any 4 of them. The first question was, Mrs. Sujata wants to rent out the first floor of her house. She decides to draft an advertisement. So, what should be the heading of the advertisement? And as you all have studied, whenever you want on rental, yes, the option will be to let. It is not situation vacant, it is not for sale. Yes, the option is to let. D is the correct answer for 19. Coming on to the 20th one. Select the option that lists the important information that Sujata needs to include in her advertisement, and the options given to you are size of the house, people in the neighborhood, irrelevant, location, yes, amenities and facilities, then distance from metro rail station and the contact address. From these 6 sentences given, you have to choose the proper appropriate set, that which should be the correct answer, and the correct answer in this is option number B, and B is, that is size of the house, the location, amenities and facilities provided, and the last thing is the contact details. So, correct answer for question number 20 is B. Moving on to the next step, a question based on notice. Vinita, a head girl of Gandhi Memorial School, she is asked to draft a notice informing students of class 12th about a workshop on stress management. What should be the heading for this? Workshop for class 12 students, how to manage stress, stress management workshop for class 12 students. Confusion might have been for option number A or option number C, but specifically the things have been made clear. The workshop is related to stress management. So, correct answer for 21 will be C. And now, what are the important details that Vinita should write and to include in our notice? Time to reach the venue, dress code for students, date, time, venue, name of the resource person, date, duration, reason to attend, or date, venue, time, dress code for the students. And the correct answer for this is date, venue, time and name of the resource person who will be conducting this workshop. That is important. Moving on to the other questions from this. Help Vinita by choosing the right option to complete the statement in a notice. And the correct answer for this is, the workshop will be beneficial and will teach some techniques. In the workshop we learn some techniques, we could have taken the help from here, and the answer will be, will teach some techniques to effectively manage stress. Now, moving on to the long compositions, where 7 questions are given, you have to attempt any 6 of them. The first question is regarding this article writing. Rashmi is president of her school's library. She decides to write an article. The question follows. Select the option that lists an appropriate title for Rashmi's article. Always this type of question. Select the title, appropriate title. This question is always difficult for most of the students. But in this, the correct answer is, why is reading important for question number 24? The correct answer is B. The next one, 25th. The correct answer over here is, Every book opens up new dimensions of thoughts for the readers. Reading book is one of the constructive habits that helps us one improve on his or her focus. So, correct answer for question number 25 is B. What major reason can Rashmi state in an article for deteriorating reading habits among students? And the correct answer for this, yes, the correct answer is the digital technology. This is deteriorating the reading habits among students. No doubt the digital technology is helpful today because of the prevailing COVID conditions. Question number 27. Select the option that lists suitable steps to be taken to improve reading habits among children. And the correct answer for this is 4 statements are given. You have to choose the set. Give them books, take them on trips to library, yes, creating a reading space for children, or take children on field trips. And the correct answer for question number 27 is A. Next. Question number 28. Select the option that best describe the importance of a reading habit. 4 quotations from famous eminent authors were mentioned, and this the correct answer is C. The greatest gift is a passion for reading. The article being written is about reading, and hence the greatest gift is a passion for reading. This should be the correct option for question number 28. Moving on to question number 29. An article is a written piece of communication published for a large targeted audience. And the second statement, an article is an interactive communication with a selected audience. Now, whether you have to analyze or choose whether the statements are true, one of them is true, both of them are false, or one of them is false, and so on. And the correct answer for this is statement number 1 is true, and statement number 2, that article is an interactive communication with a selected audience, this statement is false. So, correct answer for question number 29 is B. And the last question from the writing section is the title of the article must not be, and no doubts in the mind of any of the students, it must not be lengthy. It should be attractive, it should be interesting, it should be eye catching, yes, but it should not be lengthy at all. So, these were the first 30 questions based on your reading and the writing section. Now, let us move on to the last of your section, that is section C, questions based from your literature. The first question from this was an extract based question from the chapter Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. And the first question in this, what does the author try to convey by the expressions being his own master? Yes, 31st, what should the answer for this? Mcqs takes his own decision. Being his own master does not mean that he is disobedient, he is adamant, jiddi nahi hai wo, does not listen to others. No, the correct answer is Mcqs takes his own decision. This is the correct answer, C for question number 31. 32nd question. Through the expression looking straight into my eyes, no doubt which shows confidence, the narrator is trying to convey. Mcqs displayed no fear in his eyes, Mcqs was not feeling shy while speaking, Mcqs was conversing in a very friendly way, or Mcqs displayed his courage and determination in expressing his opinion. So, looking straight into the eyes, straightway means to show confidence and courage. So, the correct answer for question number 32nd is D for Delhi. Question number 33rd. Again, apart from that extract, his dream looms like a mirage. What does this indicate? Mcqs has no clear vision of the dream. His dream is distorted and misleading. His dream is elusive and elusive, or Mcqs' dream is different from others. And the answer for question number 33 is C. His dream is elusive and elusive. कि थोड़ा सा सपना सा लगता है, धुंधला सा लगता है उसको. It is something like a mirage, something which looks to be unattainable, unachievable. This is the correct option. So, C is the answer for question number 33. Two more questions from the same extract. None of them know that it is illegal for children to work in glass furnaces. Select the inference in reference to the above statement. The children are innocent and do not realize the hardships. The illiteracy and ignorance are exploited by the unscrupulous businessmen. They have no one to support them legally to get out of the question, or the children are ready to work in glass furnaces due to their poverty. बेचारी गरीबी के कारण उनको ये काम करना पड़ता है. And the correct answer for this question is option number B. The illiteracy and ignorance are exploited by the unscrupulous businessmen. Question number 35. Select the option that lists the facts about Firozabad. 4 facts are mentioned. You have to choose the correct one. Almost all the families are engaged in bangle making. Yes. The children work as motor mechanics. Out of question, this is discarded. The children work in hazardous working condition. Yes. And Firozabad is the center for car making. Firozabad is the center for glass blowing industry, not for car making. So, option number 2nd and option number 4th are discarded, 1st and 3rd, and hence the correct option is C for question number 35. Coming on to one next extract. Again I extract from the chapter from Flamingo, Deep Water, experience of William Douglas. This is the extract given to you. Coming on to the question. What impression do you form about the narrator? Question number 36. What do you know about him? He is a beginner in swimming lessons. He has made friends during his swimming lessons. The big boy was well built and handsome, or the narrator lacks courage and confidence to enter the pool alone. He was scared, he was timid to go alone. So, the correct answer for question number 36 is D. Coming on to question number 37. The description of the big boy by the narrator is one of complaint, admiration, criticism or poise. Yes students, what should be the correct answer? The correct answer for this is admiration, because the author describes him. He is a well built boy and beautiful specimen with rippling muscles. If you remember this statement, from there you will be able to make out that the correct answer is B. Question number 38. Select the option that lists the probable reason for the big boy's behavior towards the narrator. About the bully, his intention to frighten the narrator, his desire to give him a surprise, the place was quiet and odd, or the narrator was skinny and all alone. And the correct answer for this is the narrator in his childhood was very skinny and he was all alone at the YMCA pool on that particular day. So, the correct answer is D for Delhi. A easy one to follow. The figure of speech in the expression as white and clean as a bathtub is, whenever use as or like for comparisons, the figure of speech or the literary device is simile. So, correct answer for this is C, simile. And the last question from this particular extract of Deep Water. The writing style of the narrator indicates that the passage can be classified under A or N. Interview, autobiography, fiction or short essay. And no doubt where this question was concerned, the straight answer is autobiography. The author had narrated his experience in the book which he wrote of Men and Mountains, and this chapter was apart from it, and from that chapter an extract has been taken. A question extract based from the poem Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. The poet's intention in the first line is to, what is the first line? What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. This is what the poet is telling. So, what is the poet's intention? Giving warning to the readers, give right direction to the readers, give choice to the readers, or give a clarification to the readers. And the answer for this is give a clarification. Yes, the option is, I am sorry, give a clarification to the readers. The poet is not giving a warning, the poet is not giving the right direction, the poet is not giving a choice to the readers, just giving a clarification to the readers that what the poet meant, it should not be confused with anything else. She had no truck with death. Question number 42. I want no truck with death. What does this explain? He advises the people to escape death. He asserts that death is inevitable. What is inevitable? Inevitable means unavoidable. होकर ही रहेगा, that is inevitable. He assures that he does not advocate death, or he expresses his desire not to die. So, the correct option for question number 42 is he assures that he does not advocate death. When the poet tells that I want no truck with death, that he is trying to specify that he wants no association with the term death. He is not propagating death by using the statement I want no truck with death. Question number 43, a bit teasing type of a question. Select the option that aptly describes the tone of the poet in the expression if we were not so single minded. The options are regretful, critical, encouraging, unfriendly, and the correct answer for this is critical. The poet is critical by making this statement. So, for question number 43, the correct answer is B. Moving on to 44. According to the poet, who is to blame for the condition of threatening ourselves with death? Stressful life, keeping quiet, lack of understanding, or state of confusion? Yes, a straightforward simple answer, lack of understanding is to be blamed for threatening ourselves with death, lack of not understanding our own self. And question number 45, the tone of the poet in the expression. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness. What is the tone of the poet? Unsure yet optimistic, sure and confident, poetic and melodramatic, nautanki, or hopeful but not confident. For 45th, the correct answer is unsure but not optimistic. Maybe the doubts were there in option number A as well as option number D, but if you read the line perhaps itself, shayad, unsure, from there you could have taken the hint over here. The correct option is A, unsure yet optimistic. And one more extract, the last extract based question, and this is from Vistas, the chapter The Enemy, written by Pearl Buck. Moving on to the question straightway. The arrangement of, you can go to the question, yes. This is the question, this is the extract at the last part of that particular chapter, when he is planning the escape of the white man. The arrangement of food and clothing by Dr. Sadao portrays him as a kind and compassionate man, an experienced sailor, a good event organizer, or a good advisor. There were no doubts in mind of any of the students. The correct answer for 46 is A, is a kind and a compassionate person. Question number 47. Not been worth fortifying. The island where he was planning to send the white man, there was an island across the shore. So, it had not been worth fortifying. What does it indicate? It had been left uncared for and neglected, can be easily spotted by the Korean boats, will be easy for the white man to enter the island, or is dangerous to stay there alone. And the correct answer for question number 47, yes, should is be C. It will be easy for the white man to enter the island because no guards, no watch or vigil is kept on that particular island. Question number 48. The speaker's tone in the expression, do I have to? Kya mujhe bhi? Is pleading, commanding, irritated, or it is shows fear and doubts. And the correct answer is it shows fear and doubt. Do I have to? It shows fear and doubt. Question number 49. But this is not the season of storm. Dr. Sada over here tries to assure him of safety. Who is him over here? The white man, the enemy soldier. Assure him of safety. I think a mistake over here in question number 49. Yes, a small error. The first is explain the situation, assure him of safety, educate him on climate, or display the knowledge. And the answer for question number 49 is assure him of safety. Question number 50th. It is not hidden if you are here. What is doctor's intention over here? To explain why he cannot stay there anymore, अब क्यों नहीं रह सकता? To remind him that he has tried to hide his presence. To explain that it is necessary and good for both of them, हम दोनों के लिए अच्छा है. Or to assert that his house is not a hiding place. And the correct option for this question number 50 is to explain that it is necessary and good for both of them. The option C is the correct answer for question number 50. Now, the direct stand-alone MCQs, the last 10 questions over here in this chapter. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. A question from the chapter, the last lesson. Franz's statement, select the option that rightly brings out his intention. He tried to avoid his friends, he tried to teach his teacher M. Hamel, he did not want to face the villagers, or he wanted to escape Mr. Hamel's scolding. And the correct option is he was scared, he was in a dread of scolding. Line number 1 of the chapter is the answer, and he wanted to escape M. Hamel's scolding. The correct answer for 51 is D for Delhi. Question number 52nd. The poet Kamala Das. Yes, which poem? My Mother at 66. The poet Kamala Das brought in the image of spilling children with the intention of praising the children, of reminiscing the children, of bringing a contrast to the mood of the poet, or of making her in other happy and or making her mother happy and cheerful. And what should be the correct answer for 52nd? The correct option is of bringing a contrast to the poet's mood, because she was scared when she looked at the poet's dull face. The correct answer for this is the image of spilling children and trees is used to show a contrast over here. The stunted unlucky heir of twisted bones. Line from the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. Select the option that best explains the expression unlucky heir. Heir is waris, the successor. Legacy, to inherit the father's possessions. Unlucky, to live in a slum. Unfortunate, to inherit father's disease, or unfortunate, to study in dim classroom. And the correct answer for this is unfortunate, to inherit his father's gnarled disease. Question number 54. Select the option that aptly describes Hannah as a wife. Whose wife? Dr. Sadau's wife. Hannah is possessive about her husband. Hannah is very caring and responsible wife. Hannah is a very dominant wife, or Hannah is very fussy and nagging wife. चिड़-चिड़ करने वाली बीवी है. And correct answer for question number 54 is B, that Hannah is very caring and a responsible wife. Question number 55. She did not wish to be left alone with the white man. This thought of Hannah reveals the fact that Hannah hates white men are dangerous, war makes people enemies, or Hannah is timid and cautious. And the correct option for this is Hannah is timid and cautious. So, D is the correct option for question number 55. Last 5 questions left. Question number 56. A nice interesting type of a question. And then sheer stark terror seized me. Which of the following options has used the same figure of speech as in the underlined phrases? 4 options are given over here. Sea waves roared frighteningly on a stormy night. Fear is poison. He roared like a lion, or I am frightfully for my mistakes. Now, many students must have been confused as to what to do in these particular questions, but if you have read the options carefully and read the statement correctly, personification can be taken sheer stark terror, hyperbole can be taken over here, sheer stark terror seized me, or it can also be taken as personification. Non-living things are given human attributes. So, stark terror seized him, captured. Human beings capture, terror cannot capture things. So, over here this was the poetic device, or this was the figure of speech over in this statement, and Sea waves roared frighteningly. The sea waves roaring, non-living thing given human attributes. So, these are examples of personification, the figure of speech which is there in both these statements. So, correct answer for question number 56 is A. 57. The young man echoed the lament of the elders. A question from the Lost Spring chapter. What is Anish Jung's view on the young men? They do not take any initiative. They are as poor as the elders. They are helpless and they do not support their elders. And answer for this question number 57 is they are helpless as their elders, lachar hai. They can do nothing else but make bangles. The last three questions. Would put on clean clothes. A question from the chapter or from the poem Keeping Quiet. What does Pablo Neruda mean by clean clothes? White dress to reflect peace, mind without courage and confidence, mind without confusion and fear, or mind without hatred and prejudice. And the correct answer is mind without hatred and prejudice. The second last one, the penultimate one, but the jump made no difference from deep water. Select the option that reflects the tone of Douglas. Again interesting question, confusing for some of the students. Fear, regret, anger or grief, and the correct answer over here is regret. Usko pachtawa hua because he gave all the efforts to jump, but he was unsuccessful. And the last of the questions to wind up your question paper of CBSE English core term 1. The last question which was there in the paper was, suppose you are condemned to death and the next day I had to have my operation. A question from the chapter The Enemy. The tone of the general indicates he is worried about Dr. Sadao, working against the law and order of the country, uncertain about his health condition, or selfish and dependent on Dr. Sadao for his treatment. No doubt the general has been shown to be self-absorbed, selfish, thinking about his own bad health, and he had faith only in the skills of Dr. Sadao. So, the correct answer for question number 60, the last question of the paper, is D for Delhi. So, yes friends, this is all about the answers for this question paper term 1 English core class 12th. Now, you can evaluate your performance and just see where you stand, and maybe for the other upcoming papers you might have analyzed now that MCQs are not that a cup of tea for everyone. You have to be very particular in choosing the correct options. So, this is all from my side for today. Happy learning and all the best for all the other exams which will be appearing. Thank you all of you. Thank you.